Hello.
How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing well also.
Nice.
Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So I first just want to start off by welcoming everyone who's tuning in tonight. So this is the third installment of Black Women in Medicine, Health, and Wellness, this little IG Live series that we're doing in honor of Black History Month. And tonight we have the honor of speaking with Dr. Peggy Robinson. Peggy, thank you so much for being here. For those who don't know about Peggy, she is an amazing acupuncturist, healing, holistic practitioner in Brooklyn and also in the Triangle area of North Carolina. Am I right?
That's correct.
And Peggy and I met like 3 or 4 years ago when I started my business in Brooklyn. And she was extremely kind to me and welcoming as a new business owner. And I'm very happy now to have her on so we can chat some more about some important stuff.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So how did you get into acupuncture yourself?
I got into acupuncture by way of herbal medicine. I come from a Haitian background, so my parents are Haitian and they taught me about herbal medicine. And so I grew up with herbs, enjoyed it. And one day as I was somewhere in Manhattan, happy and working in my other career, I went to see an acupuncturist because I had something going on and discovered acupuncture and realized it worked. And then I realized that I could practice and I could combine herbal medicine with acupuncture and become a Chinese medical practitioner. So I decided to go into Chinese medical school and that's it. I'm here.
And when did you start your business? When did you start Cornerstone?
So Cornerstone has been in existence for about 19 years. So 2002, we gave birth to Cornerstone Healing. Right down in the heart of Brooklyn, New York.
Uh-huh. And I was reminded, because I was reviewing your bio, I was reminded of another program that you had directed for 13 years, 14 years, where you were working with incarcerated women.
Yes, and so community work is my passion. I think I would say my first love as someone who loves to be of service is working with the community, especially those who are misrepresented. And so I ended up in Harlem. I was born in Harlem, so I feel like I have roots there. I wasn't raised in Harlem, but born in Harlem. And I ended up in Harlem and at a place called Green Hope Services for Women.
Yeah.
And it was for women who had either been incarcerated or an alternative to incarceration. And I led their holistic integrative medicine department where we did acupuncture, we did art therapy, yoga, all the healing arts were allowed to come in, and I was given free range to just figure out what would work, and I did that for 13 years.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible. I feel like whenever I speak to you, you're doing something else, doing something wonderful for the community, and also I feel like from what I know about you, you're always diving deep into other holistic practices just to better yourself and then better the people that you're working with and helping to heal.
Well, I believe this medicine is amazing. Chinese medicine is amazing. But I also believe bringing other modalities into the mix is also helpful. And it's just more tools that work, just does well for the community. I look at the way I practice as a holistic practice that's diverse in the peoples that I see, the communities that I see, but also in the techniques that I use. And so, yes, I'm constantly learning to incorporate other modalities within what I know.
Yes, I feel like in healthcare, we're always a student, always forever a student because things are always evolving and, there's new techniques and new treatment options that we want to know. So I definitely see you staying on top of that. So, in regards to your traditional Chinese medicine school, you and I had chatted briefly. You were open to talking about your experience in school. Were there other Black women in your schooling, in your class?
So in my class, I'm going to say at Pacific College of Wellington Medicine, which is now Pacific Sciences of Health, um, I was the only African American woman or Haitian American woman. There
Mm-hmm.
was Tracy Piper, who was an amazing acupuncturist and hydrocolonic therapist. She was a year ahead of me. And in my class, it was myself and two male. There was Adam Palmer and Ariel, Dr. Ariel. Those were the only two other that I know of during my year. So I would say my graduation picture, it was me.
Yeah, yeah. So, what were some unspoken challenges for you compared to other classmates of other
Well, I would say earlier on, I felt I was embraced and understanding that this is Chinese medicine and I am not Chinese American nor am I
backgrounds?
Chinese, but I respect the medicine. So I came in humble,
Mm-hmm.
ready to learn. The learning process was easy when it came to the anatomy, when it came to the herbal side of it, but really understanding the theory um, of how this medicine came about and how it works took some time before I had my aha moment. And I would say that I had two amazing interns who were Chinese American that helped guide me. And one is my business partner now, Annie Mock. Another
Oh,
one owns Grand Meridian, which is a huge herbal pharmacy in Chinatown. And I had the privilege of working with them. But overall, the challenge, I would say, was not seeing enough of Black and Brown people represented
mm-hmm.
in this medicine. And so having that relationship with someone who sort of understood where I was coming from and how I was viewing it, and to speak the same culture, same language with, was challenging because I didn't have that. But I was embraced by those around me who were, whether they were white or whether they were Latino. Everybody we were all in the struggle together, and so we had amazing study groups, and that just made it awesome. So my challenge would be not seeing enough of us,
Mm-hmm.
but the pros was accepted by those who understood that I had a passion for the medicine and were willing to help me understand it and learn.
Mm-hmm.
Down to my teachers who were mostly Chinese. You know, they took to me and made sure that I understood what I was doing because it's a reflection on their medicine. So if I get it, I can reach out to others to understand how to help heal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And do you feel that's beautiful? I mean, that's beautiful that you were embraced and that you had that community. And I think who's an advanced practitioner like yourself knows how challenging it is to go through the schooling to become so specialized as you are. So it's beautiful that the experience was really one that you felt supported. Um, Now, because you've been a practitioner for many years, since your graduation, are you seeing more Black men and women in acupuncture, younger? Has it shifted?
We have ways to go, but it has shifted. There are organizations out there. Actually, there's acupuncturist.org, blackacupuncture.org. And there's a Facebook page and there's a website where you can join the community of Black and Brown acupuncturists to just really help guide you within this. We are small but mighty, you know, so I believe that more men and women will take a look at us and see what we're doing and you know, join this amazing medicine. One of our staff members, our front desk associate, she's in Chinese medical school and she is African American. And so to be able to mentor other Black and Brown people is amazing. And also to mentor anyone. I mean, we've had numerous receptionists that have come through our office and who are now practicing Chinese medicine. And so I can say that we've been good mentors to not only the Black community, but I think a diverse group of people wanting to practice this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's a
Amazing.
support system out there for those that want to become acupuncturists and that are African American or Black. So I say go to blackacupuncturist.org and just do your research, and we're out there. Or call me, just call me and I'll be more than happy to give you information if you are interested and you happen to feel like, okay, where are we and how do we represent this medicine and represent it in a way that's true to who we are and our ancestors. Because when I started practicing, or even before I started practicing, I learned about the Black acupuncture movement, which was
Mm-hmm.
at Lincoln Hospital in the 1970s with
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Mutula Shakur.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Panthers and the Young Lords took over a section of Lincoln Hospital, just took it over because it was in the middle of the drug epidemic. And they took it over and they treated thousands of Black and brown people, anyone who wanted treatment. They had ear acupuncture offer. So when we talk about Blacks in this Chinese medicine community, we have been in this since the
Mm-hmm.
70s and probably earlier, but since the 70s that I know of, just really doing the grassroots work that was needed. So that makes me proud. And again, we're not Chinese, but we understand how it works and we understand the value of it, and to help our community is amazing. So I would say that that makes me happy. And as it's Black History Month, that's a bit of history that some people don't know. We go far back. So when people think of ear acupuncture, the detox protocols that help people with stress, weight loss, addiction, whether it's drugs, we played a major part in the 70s in really opening that aspect of that medicine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, I didn't know about that myself.
Yeah, it's amazing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And I I'm wondering how that transition happened from Lincoln Hospital. When does Lincoln Hospital still have the
So
traditional Chinese? Go ahead.
it does not, but at one point, we did our intern. One of my
Uh-huh.
interns was at Lincoln Hospital learning NADA protocols, ear acupuncture, and that
Okay.
was offered. So now this same modality is taken all over the world, and people are practicing this NADA protocol, and it started from grassroots at Lincoln Hospital. And so it's a protocol that exists, and it's used in trauma. It's used, I know Acupuncture Without Borders, they use it.
Mhm.
And so many people use these, social workers will use these same points to
Mm.
help. But I
Mhm.
would say what brought it alive
Mhm.
were the activists,
Mhm.
the revolutionary activists. And I would say the Black Panthers and the Young Lords
Mhm.
sort of put their foot down and said, we need to make some changes, and we're going to do it in a holistic way so that our people can survive.
Mm. And what was the name of the protocol that you mentioned? I didn't.
It's called NADA.
Nada.
Yes.
Nada. Wow. Um, in regards to some of the other holistic practices that you use, can you just touch on some of those? Because I
Sure.
know you fuse a whole bunch of things herbal. So.
I do. So I'm a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. And
Uh-huh.
what does it mean? It means that I practice Chinese herbal medicine. I
Mhm.
practice acupuncture. I practice cupping, moxibustion, gua
Mhm.
sha, and some forms of Tuina massage.
Mhm.
I've also incorporated tuning forks, which is sound therapy within my practice, aromatherapy within my practice. Um, we do a lot of breath work within the practice, just really listening to people and their nutritional needs. And so Eastern nutrition within the practice, and you name it.
Yeah.
um, if it works, I will look into it and try it alongside of what I've learned in school.
I featured one of my pelvic PT colleagues, Dr. Deidre Morrison, last week on
Yeah.
Valentine's. And we spoke about some women's health issues that are more prevalent in Black female pelvic health, women's health. And one of the things that she was sharing was the statistics for prevalence of fibroids.
Yes.
And that was eye-opening for me. And I'm curious what kind of, say you have a patient who's coming in for heavy periods, painful periods, fibroids, maybe they've been diagnosed with fibroids. What kind of, how do you evaluate, how do you treat someone like that? What do you
Well, definitely we would do the questions, right? So we ask the regular questions. How are you doing? What's your sleep pattern like? What are your cycles like? Are they heavy? 7 days? 4 days? Is it dark? What's your stress level like? What do you eat? What are your bowel movements like? How do you sleep? We're asking major questions so that we get to know the person on an individual base, right? And so you're being treated as not the disease, but as a whole, right? So looking at the root to treat the branches, because you're coming in for fibroids and you're coming in for menstrual cycle, but there's a root cause of that, right? Whether it's stress, whether it's your eating habits, whether whether you had an injury, you're coming in because it's other things that are contributing to those menstrual cycles, those heavy menstrual cycles or the fibroids. Well, you may not even be eating. You may be working out too much. You may not be sleeping. So there are various reasons. You might have this ice cream addiction, right? There are various reasons why your body is doing what it's doing. Or you may be that type of person that holds things in, right? And so you're holding your stress in, you're not releasing, and the body is building certain things that as a defense mechanism to take care of itself, because internally it's like telling you, I'm stressed. And so we'll ask various questions. We'll listen to you. We'll listen. We'll take a look at your pulse. We'll take a look at your tongue. We'll palpate, to feel if it's a fibroid, to feel, where it is. We'll even ask you for your Western diagnose information to see how big is the fibroid. And then look at a treatment protocol for you. So if we talk about fibroids, I would say it varies. 3 people might come into my office and their treatment plan might be 3 different treatment plans for fibroid. So I would say acupuncture, I would say herbal medicine, and I would take a look at your diet and tweak the diet and add points to help with stress, but also add points to just help the body rebalance itself. And then with fibroids, you want to help it shrink if you can. And so there are herbal medicines formulas that we can make to help with that process. And again, it's something that we want you to really be proactive in. And so it's not something that I'm doing to you. It's something that we're doing together, and as we're doing this together, we're hoping for amazing results. And so your homework is also as important as you walking into my door and asking for help.
Wonderful. Thank you for explaining all of that. I think it was very informative and super important that you emphasize that each individual is the treatment protocol or treatment program that you build is really tailored to them, because each person is different. Every body's different.
We're a root-based medicine, right? The root for the branches. It's not a symptom. And so whatever's going on with your root cause, everyone's root cause could be different. And so that's how we look at a person walking into the office as, okay, your chief complaint is fibroid, but we got to figure out what's causing this.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Peggy, this was a really lovely chat. Thank you so much. Do you have any final words, final remarks that you want to share?
I would say, as it pertains to Black History Month, for me, Black history is every day, right? I can't leave this skin and go somewhere else. I am Black and I will always be Black. So I encourage people to really dive deep in, right? So today I'm talking to you and I commend you for allowing me to be on this platform to tell to your audience and my audience about what it is that I do. But I'm encouraging us all to just dive into everybody, right? We all have a story, and And this month it's Black History. And I hope that it doesn't stop there, right? And so that people are interested in learning about Black and brown people and all people, you know, open up our eyes and just look at ourselves as the human race, right? And that it's a beautiful melting pot. And that if we all learn a little bit each day about each other, we can go a long way. And so as we celebrate Black history, learn more about Black history, you know, and it comes in, whether it's Africa, whether it's Jamaica, whether it's Haiti, whether it's your friends, whatever community you may have, reach out and find out how we can all support each other, because that's how it works, you know. And for me, Black history is 365 days a year, you know, and I live it, I love it, and that's what I energetically put out there into the world. And so what I want to say is, let's be kind to one another, especially now. Let's be kind to one another and learn, you know, be open to learning. We don't always have to agree, but be open to learning. So today was a day that we came together to find out about a Black woman practicing Chinese medicine, right? I think that's powerful, you know, I think that's powerful. And so tomorrow it'll be something else. You know, you've been doing great sessions with amazing women. And so I just hope that what we're doing here, that many more will continue to do, so that we can really spread the love.
Absolutely. Oh, Peggy, so powerful. Thank you for sharing those words. And everyone, if you are in need of acupuncture, if you're in the Brooklyn and or Triangle, North Carolina area, reach out to Peggy, because she will take care of you and give you a wonderful, wonderful treatment.
So Brooklyn, New York, Cornerstone Healing. Brooklyn, New York, and Cornerstone Healing. And in North Carolina, yes, North Carolina, I am at the Triangle Chiropractic and Rehabilitation Center. So North Carolina and Brooklyn, one person, 2 locations.
2 different states, 2 states.
2 different states, that's right.
Well, thank you, Peggy, so much. Everyone who's tuning in, I have one more guest who's going to be joining us on Friday, lunchtime, 12:15. Dr. Chanel Cabo-Sadafal. She is an amazing adolescent medicine physician at NYU, and she will be closing out the series. So if you are available around 12:15, tune in Inspira Physical Therapy, and we'll be featuring one more amazing Black woman in medicine, health, and wellness. So thank you, Peggy. Thank you, everyone who's been listening. Have a beautiful evening.
Thank you.